Yo everyone, thanks for joining me once again for Larry's full card betting guide. This weekend we have UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi, Whittaker vs Derrida to look forward to, and I am keen to go through some of my own bets and ideas for betting opportunities for the card. I apologize if I sound bad during the video, just recently gotten sick, and I would have liked to also have gotten this video out a little bit earlier, but I have also been quite busy too as well on top of that, so it's sort of the worst of both worlds thing going on for me right now. But regardless, I'll be going through absolutely everything in this betting guide, from who I pick to win each fight, my own strong favorites and solid underdogs, my favorite lock of the card and underdog lock of the card, and to finish off, I will walk you guys through all my own personal bets, just so you can see what I've decided to do with all the research I've put into this card. I do want to say before jumping into the video though, that we have been doing well recently, or we were doing well recently. We were on a 3-week profit streak until just last week, which just felt like a main card full of upsets. A lot of underdogs winning on the main card. But yeah, guys, we're looking to create a brand new profit streak this week. I've also recently said I was thinking about starting to do some fight companions of some of the fight cards. So if you guys are interested in seeing that potentially in the future, I actually did a very quick test stream the other day to just make sure that I even know how to start a YouTube stream, since I've never done it before. So if you aren't interested in that, please let me know. Hoping all of that stuff is set up maybe in a couple of cards time. Please also like this video and let me know in the comments if you like the content, and I'll be pumping out all these videos and new content for you guys. As always though, for the betting guides, timestamps are in the description and the comment section below if you guys want to skip to anything in particular. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. What you're looking at here are the lists of favorites and underdogs for the entire card, and like I always say, this is just to show you guys who I actually ended up picking to win on this card and how many of those picks were underdogs and favorites. If you haven't come here for my full card predictions and breakdown video for this card, where I talk in detail about all my reasoning for all my fighter picks, please go and check that video out if you want some additional information on why I've made the picks that I've made. And if you have come from that video, I appreciate it a lot. Like I always say, thanks for supporting the channel and watching both the videos for me, guys. I will now highlight in green who my picks were for this card. And as you can see, I have actually chose quite a few underdogs this week, which is great, since the past couple weeks felt like a little bit more of like a favorite heavy type of card, if you know what I mean. I'll explain more on why I've chosen some of these underdogs in the later sections of the video, but for now, we've gotten that out of the way. You guys have seen my picks, so we can now move on to my strong favorites and solid underdogs section, guys. As you can see here in the strong favorites section, I've picked Damon Blackshear, Carlos Leal, Shara Magomedov, and Piotr Yan. The numbers next to the fighters' names are just the return you'll get on them if you were to bet on them. So for example, if you were to bet $100 on Carlos Leal to win, it would net you a profit of $20 overall. And for my American viewers, as far as I know, when he has the minus 500 next to his name, that's how much money you have to bet on a fighter to win $100 profit on your bet. And I will say this now, I like all these favorites that I've listed here. I wouldn't be surprised to see most of them, if not all of them, get finishes as well in their fights. I think Damon Blackshear, if he does get a finish, it's most likely by submission, if you had to ask me. If Carlos Leal gets a finish, it's probably by KO. If Shara Magomedov gets a finish, you know, guys, it's probably by KO. And if Piotr Yan gets a finish, honestly, I probably see it being like some sort of ground and pound TKO, very similar to his win over maybe like a Jose Aldo, if you guys have seen that fight. Very excited to see how these fights play out. We can now jump into the solid underdogs I've chosen for this card. I've personally chosen Billy Alicana, Said Nurmagomedov, Bogdan Guskov, and Reiner Derrida as my picks for solid underdogs on this card. I do really think all these guys can get it done in this weekend and potentially get finishes as well in their fights. I think Billy Alicana has the ground game to get the submission over Ibo Aslan. I also think that Said Nurmagomedov has some of the best front chokes I've ever seen in the sport, and Bryce Mitchell just lost by front choke to Gene Silva, so it could definitely happen in that matchup. Bogdan Guskov, I feel, has power in his hands for sure, and with Nikita Krylov rushing back into the octagon after a vicious knockout at the hands of Dominic Reyes only 3 months ago, I feel like he will get knocked out again, coming back without proper recovery. And lastly, as sad as it sounds, since I do love Rob Whittaker, I think Reiner can use his size, strength, and grappling advantage to potentially find that submission win in their fight. I'll explain more on why I have picked some of these fighters when I get into the bet section of the video, but for now, let's move on to my locks of the card. And if you do want to know more in general about all of my picks, like I already said earlier, go check out my full card predictions and breakdown video of every fight on the card. I'll put a link to it somewhere here on the video, should be in like the top right corner of the screen or in the description. Now we are onto my locks of the card section though. We did well last week. Usually have been doing quite well with these as of recent. Here are my picks for last week's card. You can see them here. This week, I have ended up choosing Carlos Leal as my favorite lock of the card, and I just think the dude is the real deal. Probably should have gotten that decision win over Renat Fakhretdinov, and then in his next fight against Alex Morono, he fought the perfect fight and just walked him down and KO'd him, which was just amazing to see. I feel like Muslim Salikov is known to slow down in the second and third rounds of his fights. He's very explosive, he's also a big kicker, and with the pressure of Carlos Leal, and the pressure that he just puts on his opponents in general, he should be able to smother those kicks and wear down Muslim Salikov to get the KO. And I'm going to say a round 2 KO for Carlos Leal if I had to get specific. That's my takeaway from that matchup, guys. And that's why Carlos Leal is my lock of the card for the favorite section. Let's move on now to my underdog lock of the card. And I did have a harder time picking this one since I've actually picked quite a few underdogs on this card. But I do think in the main event, Reiner de Ridder is someone I can't keep doubting to get it done anymore. The dude might look bad sometimes on the feet, but guys, he really knows how to work his style of fighting and always sticks to the game plan of pressure, clinch, and grapple. Him being so big against Rob as well, and being someone that won't play Rob's game at range, I think we're going to see someone that is going to come in, do a lot of clinching, and try to force the grappling situations in this fight. And if that's the case, the advantage that de Ridder has is just so big. I think I can see him getting the upset by submission in this fight if I had to call it, but don't get it twisted, guys. I am a fan of Robert Whittaker. I do want him to win this fight, but I need to be as objective as I can. Moving on now to one of my new sections, which is called High Risk, High Reward. This section is where I highlight one fighter on the card that I think has completely juiced odds relative to their chances of winning. It could be a fighter I haven't necessarily picked to win in my predictions video, but it's someone that I think has a better chance to succeed than the odds makers say. Last week, this bet actually did hit. I chose Michael Johnson as someone to highlight, and he actually won by decision. So it's not as if these bets are crazy outlandish, guys. The fighter I've chosen for this week's video is actually Marcus McGee, and I have been thinking about this more and more since I worked on my prediction video. He's a pretty sizable underdog, and although I do agree that Jan should be the favorite and I am picking Jan to win, I think that because this fight is 3 rounds and not 5 rounds as a fight, it's a lot closer than I originally thought, to be honest. That was something I was overlooking. I originally thought this was a 5-rounder, and Jan would absolutely smash Marcus McGee in a 5-rounder, in my opinion. That's what I have going for me. I really think that's the case. But in a 3-rounder, things can get a little dicey, and I think that moneyline bet isn't as crazy as it sounded to me originally, but if you want something a little riskier, I think Marcus McGee to win by points isn't crazy as well, since if he banks those first 2 rounds by being really active, he could potentially get that win over Jan if Jan doesn't match his pace early on. And now, lastly, for my insane bet here, I do have Marcus McGee by KO, and this one would just be crazy. Marcus does have big power, and it's not out of the question that this could happen, but like the section says, guys, this is a high risk, high reward, so that's why it's in the insane risk part here. And for those of you that really like Marcus McGee this time around, I actually thought I would add something in for you guys here, and that is the safe-ish bet that I picked, which is a plus 3.5 round spread on him. I do think that one can cash a lot of the time, especially if Marcus has a good first round of the fight. So I thought I would chuck that in for you guys if you guys have been thinking about going on Marcus McGee on this fight. All these bets do have high payout, but of course they are super risky, so take care if you decide to potentially take the risk on this card, guys. That's it for the newest section I made for the video. Let's move on now to my personal bets I have on this card. And here they all are for you guys, my current personal bets I have on this card, so you can check them all out. There are many different types of bets here, as you can see, so I'll run you through all of them now. The hidden bet in white is the subscribers bet of the week, and I'll reveal that right now for you guys. I actually have chosen this person here who did say they recommended taking the over on Almabayev and Ochoa, which I do agree on. I think both guys are relatively tough and hard to finish in my opinion, and I do see this one going into the later rounds with Asu Almabayev getting a good amount of control time with his grappling. I appreciate your comment, man, and thanks for all the comments on the prediction video, guys. I do love the support, and it helps me to keep pumping out these videos, guys. If you guys want to be the subscribers bet of the week for the next week's betting guide, please leave your comments in the comment section of my next prediction and breakdown video for your chance to be featured in the betting guide. side. I'll start reading out the bets now though, and we can start with the prop section. We've got the subscribers bet of the week, of course, there. The one I just explained with Asu Almabayev and Jose Ochoa. I've actually put in Marcus Buchecha by sub, and I'm just a hypocrite at this point, guys, because I did say I wasn't going to bet on this fight since I do think it's relatively close, but I just can't help myself sometimes. I'm sorry about that. I do think if Buchecha does win though, it is by sub. I don't see him winning the exchanges and fight in general on the feet. Next, we have Carlos Leal by KO, and I've already explained why in my favorite lock of the card section, but he's just the real deal type of marauder fighter that a lot of people are looking for in the UFC. He's got constant forward pressure, he's never afraid to throw down, and stylistically, it's a good thing to have going into this matchup. I also have Damon Blackshear by finish as well, and honestly, I think it's most likely by submission if he does get the finish, since Davey Grant is a bit tricky on the feet, and he's hard to catch, but could see a few things happening here. I did also add something extra as well with Derrida, since I do think if he does win, it'll most likely be sub, so there it is. I have both my parlays here as well, one high risk one and the other one is my confident picks list as a parlay. My main card picks parlay includes Bogdan Guskov, Asu Almabayev, Shara Magomedov, Piotr Yan, and Reiner Derrida. My confident picks list parlay is only 2 fighters, and they include Piotr Yan and Carlos Leal. Now to move over to my main bets I have here for you guys. These are all my single fighter bets. I'll explain a bit on why I've chosen some of these fighters. I've got my underdog lock of the card in Reiner Derrida here as a bet. I've already explained a lot on why that is in my predictions and breakdown video, and also on this video in my locks of the card section, so I won't break this down again. I'll save you guys some time. I've also got a bet on Bogdan Guskov, and like I've already said already, I just think Nikita Krylov is making a big mistake coming back so soon after a vicious KO. I think he should have taken more time to recover, and I doubt he's going to look as good as he normally does out there on fight night. I have a bet on a pretty decent underdog as well in Billy Alicana. I do see him being able to get down Ibo Aslan in this fight and potentially submit him. I think Bogdan Guskov is a better grappler by far than Ibo Aslan, and if Billy Alicana can take down Bogdan Guskov and have his back fully for an entire round on short notice with 0 training camp, I think he should be able to do even better against Ibo Aslan. I do have a bet on Said Nurmagomedov as well, and I am a little bit nervous about this one since he does have quite the grappling weakness in terms of being able to be controlled by wrestlers, and Bryce will probably be one of the best wrestlers he's ever faced, but I do see him getting out of some of the tough positions that he might be put in and being able to do more damage than Bryce overall in this fight on the feet. Lastly, I do have that bet on Asu Almabayev. I do think he wins this fight with his grappling advantage, but Jose Ochoa is super tough, should be a good scrap overall. Good luck to everyone watching this video with your bets for this card, and that's it for Larry's full card betting guide for UFC Abu Dhabi, Whittaker vs. Derrida. If you guys like the videos and want to see more of it, please let me know in the comments below, and make sure you like the video, of course, to support the channel. If you do like the idea of potentially having a chat with me while the cards are live, let me know in the comments below, because I might start doing those fight companions sometime soon. I still don't actually have a webcam though, so I will have to get one potentially down the line, but thanks for watching guys, and see you guys next time.